It would be great to have someone who could do our work for us, right? Someone to prevent us from making mistakes. Someone to assist with our routine professionally and allow us to devote our time to communicating with our closest people. If only we could get results without wasting our time for nothing. Unfortunately, it's impossible in real life. But wait, Light Forex Social Trading. Spend your time doing what really matters to you.
Good morning, guys. How are you doing today? Hopefully everything is alright. It's 4th of September 2019, 8 a.m. CT, 7 a.m. London, and Piotr here, meaning we are going to cover pre-London Open live here on Light Forex Global YouTube channel. Let's start with risk warning, guys. As usual, please bear in mind trading FX on margin. Carrying a high level of risk may not be suitable for investors who can sustain a loss of some or all initial investment, so please do not invest the money that you cannot afford to lose. Seek education, gain experience before risking real money. However, past performance doesn't guarantee future results. Okay. Let's have a look what we have here. Few important things. Let's start with some updates. Don't forget, guys, a little bit later, within the next 1 hour and 15 minutes, we are going to cover European and UK PMIs. So hopefully we are going to get some fireworks, especially that the chart when we are talking about the dollar index, the basket, there was some kind of the rejection within the supply based on the monthly, and we don't look good on that chart. We are going to discuss this within a few seconds. And then this afternoon we have the inflation report hearings when we are talking about the British pound. But we also have Canadian Central Bank interest rate decision, and we are going to cover that one live. Evening, that's the Beige book, and yeah, we will see. So that's how it looks from the calendar and upcoming events. During the Asian hours, we got the Australian dollar move higher. Based on the GDP number quarter to quarter, we got what market was expecting with the higher revision of the previous reading. But anyway, it's so that's the explanation the media are using, trying to explain current move of the Australian dollar. I would say rather that is some kind of the profit taking from the shorts than buying the Australian dollar straight. The thing is that it's the worst number within 10 years, last 10 years. That's what statisticians already figured out. So that's how the things looks like from the calendar perspective. Okay, now. The thing of the dollar, let's in that case check DXY. Okay, so please stay with me. That's the daily chart of the dollar index. Briefly switch to the monthly for you, for those who didn't have a chance to watch our yesterday meeting. We hit supply based on the monthly chart, right? So that could be one of the reason of the yesterday rejection, that the bears were trying to take over. Also, there could be that some kind of the profit taking from the long dollar positions, but also we were discussing, right, that the Monday was day off, right? So that's the Monday. So trying not to take into the consideration the Monday, because the really traders got back yesterday. So we have to talk about the Friday close. So maybe we just going to have a simple gap close and move higher again, right? Also, it could be retest of this broken swing high, right? So something between 98.80, 98.60 is worth to watch, at least worth to watch. So that's from the bulls perspective, that's the first thing, right? Closing the gap and watching the broken high swing, and so that might work as a first line of the support. The second thing from the bulls perspective might be that we can try to agree that was some kind of the consolidation, right? Some kind of the consolidation on daily, and we have breakout, right? I'm not going to be surprised to see the pullback towards the half of that consolidation, right? Towards the half of that consolidation. Okay, consolidation, break, retest of 50% continuation. Okay. Hopefully you got my point here. Consolidation, breakout, 50% continuation. Okay, so that's how you see from the bulls perspective. On the other hand, bears, of course, are going to try to take the advantage of this rejection and of this yesterday candle, right? Maybe trying to create some kind of the swing high, another similar to what we've seen here, right? That would produce this move towards the 50% of that consolidation, and that's the only way. So how does one translate into the particular currency pair? So let's get back to the chart. Of course, because of our next meeting at 9:15 AM CT or 8:15 London, where we are going to cover PMIs, EU, UK, we are going to discuss this much more deeper way, right? Anyway, euro dollar. First thing first, I think from the longer term perspective, I think we are going to see either way somehow lower levels here, right? And I think that bottom of the consolidation and possible demand zone from the weekly chart here. Okay, it's gonna be the bottom of 108 is going to be tested, as well as I think that we will see spike lower, and we are going to close the gap post French election gap. All right. I'm not sure if it's going to happen straight, just to be perfectly clear. So let's get back to this our daily chart here. We have a falling channel, and Friday, Monday, yesterday, we were testing the bottom of that channel. Especially what happened yesterday, very nice rejection, right? Possibility to create swing low. But I wouldn't be, too optimistic about euro dollar because of the ECB next week, right? Of course, one can argue that Bullard did it again, and that's what I'm going to mention once we are going to talk about the indices. Not sure if anyone. I know we should listen to the Bullard, but I'm not sure if probably only algo, based on what we've seen on the indices. But this 50 basis point cut back by Bullard was countered by the comment from the Rosengren, we should do nothing, right? Well, coffee is always good, especially at the very early morning. Anyway, so if that's the case, right, we saw attempt to break through the Monday low, but we saw strong recovery towards the end of the day. So all in all, we closed above the Monday low, and that was positive, right? So in that case, I'm not a huge fan of the euro longs, but in that case, once we are going to retest Monday low, or maybe a little bit lower based on the intraday chart, I may try to jump in and try to trade higher. So where would I like to trade? What is going to be my target? The halfway of that channel is a nice untested supply, and the top of this range from Friday, it was the breakdown day, right? We broke through this swing low, we broke through this rejection. We are talking about 1060, all right? So let's have a look what we have. So at 1060, I'm going to look for fade Euro Riley. From the intraday perspective, when we are talking about the possible move towards this 1060, right? What I would like to see, it could be the PMI could be used for that. So that's what I mentioned. It might be a little bit below Monday low, so I'm looking to buy in between Monday low. It's around 958 and this box, right? Those two lower shadows. So let me show you, because we might hit. Right, so we might hit even 109.45.40. That's what I'm looking for from the long perspective on euro dollar. Okay, so move on. Whoa, cable. So let's switch to cable, which is moving right now. Target has been hit. If you remember, we were long yesterday, and it was very nice long. So pound found some love because of Boris Johnson, left alone. So there was an attempt to go lower on the pound yesterday. With strong rejection because of these moves, when the market realized that there is a chance Boris Johnson is going to lose the vote. But to be honest with you, we had a conversation with Michał. If you remember yesterday, Michał was live with us, and I'm not sure. Maybe there is a little bit of the truth that. Because Michał was backing this crazy Boris Johnson plan, saying that let's go through that as soon as possible and let's see how the dust will settle. To be honest with you, there is something in that. But anyway, we are going to have a Michał again today with the Bank of Canada rate decision, so maybe we will get back into that conversation in regards to the UK if there is a time. From the chart perspective, right? Because we are here to talk the charts, trying to find some good setups. From the daily chart perspective, one can argue that it's a perfect long setup. Why? Because we hit the stops, we went below 120, right? So there was a stop count to the downside. Even if we are going to talk about this 2016-17 price action, more stops were taken out, but I think this is enough if we are discussing the latest low, and that's what happened here. But then, because of all this, or as an explanation, because of this action in the House of Commons, some decided to take the profit from the short pound, some probably some hot money decided to go long. So there was a little bit of the nice reversal, and now we are trying to get through this yesterday high, right? So same as euro, we closed above the Monday low, we got back and closed. So there is some kind signs of the reversal. That's what one could argue, right? But there is a huge but, right? Weekly open levels around 21.50. That's the real challenge, right? If there are real money involved in the buying pounds, so we have to get back above what was supposed to work as the possible demand based on the daily chart. We just hit that level very quickly, and I don't like this type of the approach. But it's still Frankfurt, still early, right? So again, what I'm talking about? I'm talking about the weekly open, Monday high. That's what's work. Let me show you. That what worked previously, because from here we went higher. We took out the previous supply, right? So then when we were falling on the 28th of August, we found the support here. There was a lower shadow. Again, we hold that level next day. We penetrate that next day, and finally we broke through on Monday, right? So that might be some kind of the stop count, but that's the real challenge. That's the green zone is a real challenge, not what happened yesterday. I like the price action from yesterday, but I do understand that the real challenge is around 21.50. Now, what is important, what we have to understand, let me switch few charts to the daily. What we have to understand, right, that we had already similar price action where the dollar was about to lose the ground, but then recovered nicely, right? So let's get back for a second to euro, right? We had some rejection, even better and bigger, and we gave up. We had the rejection, better and bigger, and we gave up, right? Pound, we had this, that's what we are talking about, current zone. We had nice rally, rejected. Even Australian dollar, right? From the daily chart, we had nice rejection and we gave up. Now, Aussie dollar, of course, there is a profit taking going on, but I would be very careful based on what we've already seen here on the 26th of August as well, right? So here I would be very careful and cautious with Australian dollar. So going back to the cable, yeah, I'm looking to buy and sell euro dollar as we discussed, something around 109.50 or maybe a little bit below from the buying perspective, 10.50, 10.60 from the selling perspective. But here on the cable, I'm going to wait and see for now. Maybe closer, maybe during our next meeting at 9:15 where we are going to cover PMI. Maybe there is gonna be a little bit more clear there. But for now, you know, let's give them some time. Let's give the time to those who can move the market, right? Because we can only join, we cannot move the market. By the way, in the meantime, I made the crypto market update yesterday for Light Forex. So here is the link in the chat window. Just, you know, I've been trying to explain I've been trying to explain the latest Bitcoin move. The good thing is we got back above 10k. Anyway, let's get back to the charts. Let's switch to the indices. That's the S&P, and we are testing the levels. I've been looking from the selling perspective because it's still pre-market. So let's see if we can hit even higher levels, right? We are talking about this green from daily. We have 2 yellows from intraday perspective. And in case then during the afternoon meeting we are going to have the stop count after the cash open and rejection, that I might try to join the party. Probably the indices, of course, algo's doing the job, based probably on the Bullard comment that he is back with the 50%, 50 basis point cut. Looks like he's taking the Mr. President Trump side, meaning that he counting for the Trump win and thinking about the taking over the Powell job, right? That's the theory. Anyway, was countered by the Rosengren. Anyway, positive sentiment here around ahead of the London Open. The thing is that how long this sentiment will prevail, right? Because yesterday finally the US data was in a way we've seen what we've seen in Europe, right? The ISM was below 50. Okay, so yeah, that's the good reason to make the new high on the stocks. Yeah, of course, that's the joke. Of if you didn't get it, so that was the joke. So anyway, Bullard did it again, pushing here US futures higher, but closer to the US Open. I'm going to watch very carefully. And in that case, of course, we have positive reaction going back to the currency pairs. We have positive reaction here on the dollar yen. Of course, if the explanation of the futures rally is that we have higher levels because of the possible 50 basis point cut, then why the heck the dollar yen is going higher, right? If the yield difference is going to be lower. Anyway, sometimes sometimes it's better not to go too deep into the details. What we discuss is that there is a space to try to hunt the stops towards 107, 107.30 at least, if not even rally towards 108 and 109, right? So there is a little bit of the space. Of course, dollar yen reacted yesterday into that weak ISM, that was the fall, retest weekly open, rejection, but of course a positive Asian market helped here to get back above the weekly open. I'm totally flat, right? But we were discussing this lower shadow yesterday. I was too afraid to take the long, but looks like works well, right? Okay, we will see. I was sitting nicely with the cable long, so I was not in a rush to chase the market, especially beginning of the month. Nice pound long, so that was quite okay, especially that it was the recovery post Monday stop out on the pound, for example, right? But the recovery was good, the move was nice. So yeah, from the intraday perspective, I think that at least somehow we are going to touch that high, right? So I would be very careful trying to chase shorts here, at least right now. Rather, I would like to see maybe the failure, right? Because it's a third touch right now, failure. We are starting to build the upper shadow. Maybe move a little bit lower, hitting the stops on this yellow zone and retesting this level we are waiting for, right? That's what we discussed. My favor is still 105.25, 105.05. But we are discussing this 45 as well, right? 50, 45, 105.50, 105.45. So that could be the case, and eventually from here running and hitting these stops. Don't forget, guys, that we have non-farm payrolls, right? So that might be, I'm not gonna be surprised to see that the dollar is going to be beat into that data, and in case of the weekend, they're gonna be real disappointment, right? And the odds that Fed will cut 50 will jump, but not after the one weaker ISM, I think. So here, especially that non-farm payrolls is on Friday, so then we can have a nice summary of the week, right? And that's gonna be interesting. And of course, we are going to cover this non-farm payrolls live. So that's the three majors. That's how I see the three majors plus indices. Gold is pulling back after hitting the high again. Looks like some profit taking, but you know, we have this new range, right? We have this new range. We hit the stops to the downside. Okay. I'm not sure if we can count this right now that we hit the stops to the upside. So retest of the a little bit higher levels again. Okay, we are right now closing post ISM gap, retest, maybe we will hit, and if I'm going to start to think about the shorts, I would like to see a little bit higher levels, right? Weekly open, blue dotted line, don't forget possible demand here on the gold. But right now, I've been trying twice or three times previous week, trying shorts. Been closing always around the entry level, so nothing extraordinary. So before I will jump again, yeah, maybe something higher. Oil, you know, based on what we've seen, retest, stop hunt, lower shadow, there is a, you know, we didn't break this low from where there is a plan we will go higher. So maybe I'm going to watch carefully oil, because again, maybe with this positive tone on the indices, you know, I'm always saying we'll not go much higher without the oil, right? So maybe at some point, of course during the US hours, not now, maybe even I will try to think with this pullback on the gold, maybe at some point I'm going to try to think about some longs here on the oil. Maybe we'll see how we are going to react here, but looks like V formation is might be here. So especially that overnight we get some comments from the Russian officials that they are going to keep cooperating closely with the Saudis and OPEC, right? So guys, that's it. Ahead of the London Open, we have a 45 minutes towards our next meeting, where we are going to focus on the ideas related to the PMIs. In that case, of course, you are more than welcome to join me. I'm gonna to talk less during that meeting, focusing more on the opportunities visible on the chart. So guys, it was my pleasure to be with you here. 45 minutes break. Use another link. The meeting is scheduled already, and join me. Should be fine. Have a great next 45 minutes and see you around.